Hey guys, welcome. This is Brad Krantz. Thanks so much for joining me here today on my Monday Morning Leadership. The goal is not to be successful, but valuable. So, what do you want to be known for? And that's going to mean different things to meet you. It's going to mean different things to me. And I want to try to unpack that here a little bit. I think it's a great question to ask and answer. And it's a great one to pose to you as my audience. What do you want to be known for? So, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on what led me to do this message today. You can see behind me here a quote. I've recently updated my LinkedIn page, and I was trying to think, what do I really want to represent if I'm talking about leadership, if I'm a husband, a business owner, a Christian, and a leader? What do I want to represent? And I found this, and I thought this really represented well what I would like to be known for. Is the goal is not to be successful, but the goal is to be valuable. Once you're valuable, instead of chasing success, it will attract itself to you. So that's what I'm trying to do here, guys. Unpack what I'm thinking about, what I want to stand for and represent, especially as I have a profile on LinkedIn, et cetera. And I hope that takes you back and makes you think a little bit about what do you want to be known for? I'm going to ask that question again. I've basically expanded and added to a recent article by Simon Pace in developing this as my answer to what do I want to be known for? When we think about how we want to live our lives or our life, I think we're focusing on values, right? Values are like a compass that keeps us headed in a desired direction and are distinct from goals, right? You can see a little goal thing right there. Goals are the specific ways that you and I intend to execute our values, right? And a goal is something that we aim for and we check it off once we've accomplished it, right? But before a leader can lead anyone, John Maxwell says he has to find the person. He said intentionally and every day, a leader should add value to people. It's the core of leadership. And to me, that's how you become valuable. I agree with this 100%. In fact, that's been my purpose and focus since I jumped into social media engagement almost 2 years ago. And another quote by a wise individual, try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. That was said by Albert Einstein. And I think this quote summarizes perfectly what one needs to always aim for when doing business, and that is adding value. I think it's that important. In today's digital world, it's easier to start a business than it was a few years ago. At least I think it is, especially if you already maybe have a great website in place and you build your following, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. You're constantly posting content so that your followers are engaged. Hopefully you're getting engagement. Nowadays people are managing to capitalize on quote unquote innovative ideas, aren't they? Sometimes by simply copying what their competition is doing. And it's true that there's never been so much competition out there, but I think we've never been as busy as we are today. And yet, as Gary Vaynerchuk wisely said, the number one thing to focus on with social media is to add value. And unfortunately, in my experience, far too many people are just focused on themselves and selling what they have. And that's sad. They don't add value to others. That's not adding value to people. And he continues and says, if you're unable to create content that meets the expectations and needs of your audience, it will not be beneficial for anyone. And I think he's spot on there. And that's why I think Gary Vaynerchuk is such an ardent advocate of adding a high value to online content. He's a pioneer in creating content that his audience considers valuable and important. And I respect him for that. And that's why I quote him so many times often. And this applies for sure, I think, for our interactions on social media, guys. I think all of us can do a better job of interacting on social media platforms. But shouldn't that also be what we strive for in our everyday relationships? I think so. And that's why I take time to share this message from my heart. If a particular business, for instance, opens up in an area, they start to do well, rest assured, within maybe a couple of years, maybe less, there's going to be a number of similar businesses that also open up the same area, maybe offering same services at similar prices or even lower. And this is not bad, right? This is good. This is what capitalism is about. Free enterprise, et cetera. It leads to healthy competition, and it really pushes everybody to be at their best all the time. What I am saying is, though, even though we might be innovative today, it doesn't mean that we will remain like this in the future. What are the next 10 years? So 2030 hold, guys. Things are changing at an ever increasing faster rate. So however, if I bet my money on which of those businesses would last the longest, I wouldn't bet on the cheapest one, but I would on the one that adds more value to their respective audience. I think the person, and I include myself here, whose goal is to not just be successful, but to add value, is on the right path to being a person of value. Unfortunately, nowadays, a lot of energy is focused on how to become successful, how to make a quick buck, especially since the advent of the internet and the many social media platforms. But in actuality, I found very few, or I should say not enough people, but that focus on how to be truly valuable, not only, on a commercial sense, but even to each other, among colleagues, or outside in their day-to-day dealings, right? And even though the life, I'll just say this, of a post or tweet is very short, people still seem to be driven by a mentality in using social media just to cold call and sell. And I'm just going to call that lame. And by lame, I mean using it as an adjective to describe someone who's boring, uncool, and just sucks in general. Does that sound harsh? Well, sadly, it is true. You know what I'm talking about. Trying to pitch or sell people they connect with at every turn is not only not cool, it's not professional, and it doesn't make one valuable. In fact, I'll say if you're doing that, or you know people are doing that, it cheapens them, right? And that doesn't add value. We're living in a fast-paced environment. I get it, but that shouldn't mean forgetting that we're humans after all, should it? I don't think so. We should always do our best to genuinely excel, in the product or service that we're providing, whether it's being provided to a client of ours or even to a colleague, right? I believe that it'd be wise to keep this advice in mind and think about this long term. Your business priority should be to have your clients attend your funeral and not your events. Think about that one. I think that's when you realize the added value that you'd given them if you're thinking long term about this instead of how to make a quick buck or try to make a sale or whatever. And while it's important that we always strive for success, right? We get in business because we want to have some success, right? Adding value, I really want to suggest, should be the key focus. It is for me. Adding value to a business will help you grow the business and get your business success quicker. Adding value to customers is going to increase your online traffic and sales, right? Adding value to clients will help you increase business leads and referrals, right? I think we all get that. So the moment that you're valuable is the actual moment you're successful in what you do. Think about that one for just a minute. Right, and I'm going to close by some words from Kyle Briscoe here. Try to make a point here, give some examples of how to add value to people. I'm not going to delve into a lot of them, but he said, believe it or not, you're very valuable, right? It's time for you to start knowing your worth, and I hope you do. We were created by God in the image and likeness of God. You don't have to be a Christian. I am, but you have value. I have value. You're a valuable person, right? Each and every one of you that's listening to this. As leaders, we're called to add values to others, aren't we? And what does it mean to add value to others, to be valuable? Well, one, you could lift up people with your words. I think that's something I always try to do in my social media posts. You should speak kind, encouraging, and uplifting words to those you talk with. And these are just 4 quick suggestions here. The list could go on and on. I think also you could support people by offering to help them, right? Be present and on the front line shows people that you're willing to support them if needed. You could bring people gifts, give food, money, whatever, but you can also encourage other people's professional growth. I think this one stands out. Can we be cheerleaders for other people's success, right? I think that goes a long way. Social media allows us that like never before, but are we encouraging other people's professional growth? Are we being a person of value? And I think it means to be intentional about serving others. It's about leaving others better than they were when you found them. It's like you borrow somebody's car, you leave it cleaner than when they gave it to you, right? Kind of same thing there, principle. It's about enriching and enhancing the quality of life for other people. We're here to be of service to others, aren't we? I believe that we are. God has called us to serve others. It's not about how others can serve me or you, but how you can serve someone else. And I think, again, a leader should lead by example. And with that, I would say, I don't want to be just successful, but rather to be valuable. I want to be, what am I about? I'll ask you the question, what do you want to be known for? I hope I've given my little synopsis on that, but think about this one, guys. What do you want to be known for? Thanks so much for joining me today, guys, on Monday Morning Leadership. Have an awesome Monday today. Bye-bye.